That's the opposite extreme.
Yeah.
And again,
that's what I'm saying. It's the opposite scenario.
Devil's advocate here because I think we were on the same side of the Terry Schiavo case.
Yeah.
But you could argue, if you don't know which answer is right,
sure,
shouldn't you go with the one that could not be in any context portrayed as murder?
That's the answer, or at least the argument generally used by pro-life arguments also, which is that, like, okay, if you don't know when life starts, then why don't we just play it safe and not even at all cut it anywhere? You know, why don't we consider conception? And I generally don't believe in that. I don't believe that argument. I am pretty staunchly pro-choice. I guess I should talk to the Sith about...
You're pretty staunchly pro-choice, but do you have a counter-argument?
I do. Which is that I know that a blob of cells the size of a strawberry cannot feel, think, or be countably human in any sort of social aspect.
But that doesn't apply to someone on life support.
Right.
That argument doesn't carry over to the comparison you just made.
I was just saying for the pro-life, pro-choice thing. No, the counter-argument is that if someone's brain dead and the brain is where we keep our peopleness, then that's it.
If you don't believe in the soul?
Oh, sure, yeah, but if you believe in the soul,
that
then...
only works for atheists.
Yes. If you believe in the soul, and if you believe the soul is some kind of intangible, unquantifiable thing, then we bring in a whole lot of other implications that I can't be asked to argue. Like, I can't play the rules that I consider to be made up, you know? I can't be like, I can't argue, oh, the Bible says it's right, or the Bible says it's wrong, because I don't believe in the Bible in the first place. So that'd be disingenuous for me.
Yes, but you don't have to go to only the Bible for...
I don't know, I'm just saying, is that, like, I don't believe necessarily in the concept of, like, a soul as a wholly separate thing from physiology.
But the majority of the human race does believe in some version of that.
Sure, yeah, I mean,
and
that's
true.
true.
And at some point, even as the minority, you have to have a conversation on the terms of the majority.
You do, but what the majority believes is not necessarily right, you know? Like, that's ad populum, and...
Absolutely.
So like I said, you know, I am not going to be the one to be the authority there. I can't, like, argue that. I can't say, you know, there is no soul, fuck you. Because, like, that's not going to be an effective thing, but if I had to, I would say, oh, the soul is already gone from them, you know? It's already left their body. Like... At some point, you're just saying, yes, they're still alive, or no, they're not, and like...
Knowing that the majority of humanity believes in something that you do not,
yeah.
Do you feel like there is an appropriate arbiter, an appropriate judgment of things like this? Someone, or something, or some system that you could trust?
No, I don't think there is, because it would need to be, as you said, a non-corrupt governance. You know, we need to be an arbiter that is impartial, and I don't think we have that.
So then would you not say that you are against state-sanctioned suicide?
No. Because that's my own personal judgment as, you know, as I said, if the brain is gone, first of all, I mean, this is different from assisted suicide and being taken off life support, even though they are technically the same in functional terms. One is like, yes, I'm making the conscious decision for you to kill me, and the other one is, no, I'm already gone, so whatever. But in that sense, I would say that there's an aspect to the assisted suicide part that we're not talking about, which is the, you know, the agency over your own body. We haven't really brought that to bear. And if you have agency over your own body, then that includes killing yourself, you know?
But how do you protect against someone taking advantage of that?
I mean, there is no perfect system for this sort of thing. Yet, at least. But I don't think... It'll be a very long time before we have a perfect system. So you have to judge, you know, I think the best thing to do is to try to minimize the false positives. You know, minimize the times when someone says...
But ultimately you think having the sanctity in...
You are the one to...
theory in
He can't run good because he's a cripple. But he's
the sanctity on paper of having agency over your own body is more important than the actual emotional agency of having the emotional context of having agency over your own body. It's more important for, in the hypothetical, to be able to say everyone can make this choice for themselves than to protect against people pressuring people into that choice.
Yeah, I mean,
so I decided to take a chance.
yeah.
I think I agree with you, but these are some really difficult questions that I've been struggling with over the last couple of weeks.
And mercifully, no one has asked me to be a bioethicist to talk about this.
No one has what?
No one has asked me to be a bioethicist, because these are the people that talk about that sort of shit. I just deal with fucking cancer cells, and nobody's mad if you kill those.
No, in fact, people are mostly thankful about it.
They're pretty good about it. If you, especially if you don't also kill non-cancer cells. That's when you're really golden.
The three things that are most likely statistically to kill me based on my lifestyle, who I am, the medical issues I've had thus far in my life, the medical issues of my family, the three most likely causes of death for me are some form of cancer. Mercifully, I found out this past year that I'm not actually at a heightened risk for colon cancer. My mom got her DNA sequenced and found out that she did not pass that gene on to me.
Yeah.
So even though a lot of the men on the maternal side of my family have gotten colon cancer or died due to colon cancer or complications from colon cancer, apparently I'm not at a high risk for that.
Woo!
Still should go in for my colonoscopies. Everyone should go in for your colonoscopies when you hit that age. There's a lot of humor about how uncomfortable it is, but they'll sedate you. It's fine. It is kind of a miserable experience, but it's better than having colon cancer.
Yes.
Get your colonoscopy, everyone. Don't let toxic masculinity and misogyny prevent you from doing anything that could save your life.
Yeah.
Point being, I am still at a high risk for a lot of cancers now, primarily skin cancer. My mom has had skin cancer 3 or 4 times now. One of which they caught literally on the eve of it metastasizing.
Yikes.
So she thankfully has only had one really close call, but she had one really close call.
Yeah.
So, cancer, some form of heat-related illness, because I've had a couple of close calls with that already, or suicide. Statistically, I'm a depressive artist.
It's
I
true.
buy into comedy a lot. I'm introverted a lot of the time. Suicide is a huge risk for me. And I worry about that a lot. I've enjoyed a lot of my adult life. I think I've been a good influence on others, and I think I've attained positive life experiences that I am glad I have. But I also have suicide attempts under my belt already.
Right.
No problem.
Well, I mean,
And
a
I
hard thing to
genuinely
think
don't know
about.
what that means.
yeah. I mean, this is a weird thing to relate it to, but it is also real, is that, like, suicide goes up with the temperature. Like, in general, like, acts that are associated with, you know, high, extreme actions, so both suicide and homicide go up with the temperature. So literally global warming is causing that even more.
You excel,
You know that?
You here to sit? I told the damn.
Everybody laughed at Bernie Sanders in one of the debates when he said that, like, terrorism was in part caused by global warming, but he's completely right.
It 100% is.
Yeah.
The worst affected place in the world by global warming so far is also the hotbed of terrorism as it exists today.
Yeah.
And it has a lot of geopolitical reasons as well, but shit not growing there anymore is not helping.
Yeah. Yeah, that people need to eat. Like,
I was on my way.
we all gotta eat.
She normally wears stuff
Also,
like
we
that.
found out this lady is a Sith.
I read really...
Seems so. That's all I'm going to.
I don't even know what adjective to describe it with. It was
I was a bit you can't. Yeah.
intense. That feels like it falls short, but that's the best way I can think of describing it, this intense article, op-ed,
Right.
I don't know what to call it, of an attendee at possibly the first legal
You're the one
suicide in California.
Oh wow.